Hey, how's it going? Hard Talk Radio with your host, MrDeadman here, and tonight we have Ken Stark on the show. Ken Stark, how does it feel to be part of the Stark family? You getting that nice money?
Well, it's confusing because I never know if I'm supposed to be going to Stark Tower or Winterfell, wherever the Game of Thrones is.
That's right. Okay. I think you want to go to Stark Tower. That place is some cool stuff.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd go.
Yeah.
A lot of toys.
I want to fly around that iron armor. Any chance.
Baby.
Dude, I would imagine doing that. You would puke. You would freaking puke, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If you're like Iron Man, flying around in an Iron Man suit. Okay, that's what
you take one of those tight 20G turns, you'd just be hamburger inside that suit.
Yeah, man.
It's almost like it's not real.
Right? It's almost like it's just comic book stuff.
What?
Right, I don't know how we got started on this, but hey, that's fine. Hey, so Ken Stark, you know how the show goes. I started with one question. The question is, who are you, and what does your daddy do?
My name's Ken Stark. My dad does nothing.
Oh wait. Oh, sorry. I mean, what do you do? What do you do?
I'm a writer. I write horror and dark fiction, and I try to scare the crap out of people.
And that sounds like fun. Sounds like what I do when I go to the park. I go to the scaring people part. Last part. I just want to mess around. That's my dream when I get old. I just want to be that senile old man that flicks the kids off.
Hey kids, come here, kids. Which one of you runs slowest?
Right. Oh my god, that'd be fun. Okay. Well, so why do you want to scare everybody, Ken Stark? How come you want to scare everybody?
Well, first of all, I just want to write, but fear is such a fundamental part of the human psyche. It's hardwired into us through evolution, right?
But so is love, and you could be writing romances, but you're writing hard just to scare the kids.
I don't think love is hardwired into us. No, I think we came to love later on up the evolutionary ladder. At first, it was all about avoid the bear. Avoid the saber-toothed cat, avoid the guy with the club. So if we see some that could potentially end our life, we run away.
Mm-hmm.
And that still keeps us alive. Your brain your brain picks up information from every sensory organ you have, but it only tells you a tiny little piece of it, which gives you then that sort of gut feeling that, oh, that dark alley really is kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I won't go down there, and you stay alive.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's such a fundamental thing in the human brain that if I can tell a really good scary story, that will stick with a person way longer than any kind of love story.
That's good. That's a good point. So you think fear lasts longer than love?
Yeah. Oh man. For the record, yes, fear lasts longer than love.
No, I agree. Fear lasts longer than love. I think fear comes in at the very, very last moment too. So I mean, like,
yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
I don't know anyone who's ever fallen out of fear.
No, we fall out of love. Okay, why am I talking about love over here? I got a heart. I don't got no heart over here. Okay, but so this is why you're attracted to horror then, because it's scary and you like to experience the fear.
I would prefer other people to experience the fear.
Oh,
but I mean, I'm not one of those that jumps out of planes and whatnot. Actually, there's not a whole lot in this world I do fear, but I respect it. So if my entire body is telling me, don't go down that alley, I absolutely respect it. And I've had characters in my books, big tough guys saying there ain't nothing wrong with running away at full tilt with your tail tucked between your legs as if it saves your life.
Right. Okay. So okay. So you like to be challenged and fear. Like you like to face your fear, but we're not talking about like skydiving or anything like that. So some crazy stuff like that. We're talking like you want to like visualize or be challenged mentally, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's good.
Like just the other day, I was imagining what it would be like to be buried alive, like in a coffin. I was watching some documentary about the old days, the bad old days, and I got into that mindset, like what would it be like? And it wasn't fear of dying, it wasn't fear of suffocating, it was absolutely claustrophobic. And I don't know if I don't know if I would feel that way in real life, but holy crap, is that powerful? And if I can put that in words, then I can convey that and share the joy.
I get that. And you're right, man. That would be scary to be. I think. Oh man, I think it'd be like suffocating. I think wouldn't you would suffocate first. There's no way.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, if you were catatonic or something, they buried you by accident, then yeah, you'd be dead before you ever woke up. But let's say they left an air hole, whatever. Just being trapped down there, and knowing you're never getting out, and you can't even like turn over.
Yeah. Like
just even thinking about it now just kind of creeps me out.
Then you're pretty much you're gonna run out of air too. I'd imagine. I don't know. That's scary.
Right. That would be merciful.
Do you? I was looking over your books. I don't think you have a book about being buried alive. Do you?
No, not yet.
Okay, we'll wait on that one.
I don't know if I could do an entire book on that. That's interesting. It sounds more like a short story or novella type of thing, but who knows? Maybe I could.
Maybe.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to try.
Yeah,
that's where
you would have to go into. You'd have to exaggerate like a lot of. I don't know. Yeah,
well, first of all, you'd have to find a way to keep the guy alive for a long time, or you'd have to tell a really short story over 90,000 words. So I don't know how that would work, but now you got me thinking about it. So that'll keep me up tonight. Thanks, man.
No problem. That's my gift to you. That's my gift. Okay. So, but you have the fear. Well, I'm afraid of roaches. I'm thinking of jitters right now. And that book there, come on, man. You have to face on those roaches like that. That means, like, I know it sounds silly, but for a grown ass man to be afraid of a bug, like a roach. But for those listening, when you see a roach, what do you want to do? You want to gas the house, don't you? You just want to gas the room or kill it.
Yeah. Kill it with fire. I really think everyone has one thing. You know, what spiders or roaches or snakes or bats. And I used to have a theory that, well, if we're all being reincarnated, maybe we're afraid of what killed us in a past existence or something. So I don't know what it is, but everyone's got something.
So are you afraid of roaches too?
No. I don't like them. But
how
no, I'm
dare you, good sir? You're not afraid of roaches, and you put the fear of roaches. What is the phobia of roaches? What is that? Let me know in the chat, guys. What is the phobia for roaches?
Oh Lord,
cockphobia? No, that's not how it works. Cockphobia is a different thing.
Easy.
Okay. But fear of roaches, man. So wait. So you see a roach, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like you're cool. You're cool with it. Make it like your pet.
For the record, it is called catsaridophobia.
Catsaridophobia.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry. What was the question? I was too busy typing. What do I do when I see a roach?
Yeah. What do you do when you see a roach?
Well, thankfully, I don't think I've seen one in 30 years. But step on it, smack it with a paper, kill the motherfucker.
You haven't seen a motherfucking roach in over 30 years? Oh.
Well, I'm in Vancouver. It gets cold in the winters here.
That's why.
Yeah, we don't have a huge roach problem.
Try coming down
but now,
south in like man, the humid weather. Yeah, there's always roaches.
The size of chihuahuas.
Oh God, sometimes they get big. And for the record, for the people listening, no, my kitchen isn't flooded with them. You get one. It's just like, okay, take all the food out and gassing the whole kitchen, just gassing it. I go to the store and get like 5 bottles of Raid. They're like, I just got a war with the roaches, and I go kick their ass.
Well, there again, your fear is actually protecting you, because roaches are dirty, disgusting creatures. They could, have a poop in your food. I mean, they are carriers of all sorts of pestilence. So by you being afraid enough to gas them all, you're protecting yourself and your family.
Oh, look at that! I'm protecting myself.
Like a little
makes
girl.
sense.
But yeah, you're protecting yourself.
That makes sense. that explains. That's part of the reason why we have these fears.
There you go.
These reactions, kind of like that to spiders or like snakes or whatever. But some people don't have it. Some people learn to overcome it and whatever, and then they can be beast masters and tame snakes and shit.
Yeah, I don't really. Unless it's a really debilitating fear, I would just as soon keep whatever fears I have. Whatever phobias I have. If it's not something like fear of crossing bridges, because that could affect your life.
Mm-hmm.
But roaches, stay away from roaches.
Now, I'm not sure if we went into this, but what is your phobia? What is your fear?
Oh, do I really want to say?
Wow.
What if people use it against me? All right, my fear, it comes from a childhood with 4 siblings, like 2 girls, 2 boys, and us 2 boys were always like in a basement bedroom.
Okay.
And like I say, it's
Do you want
Vancouver.
to tell the story? Is there going to be like a paddle involved?
No, a little more basic than that. No, we, like I say, we live in a kind of chillier climate in the winter, and every winter, all them little creepy crawlies from outside come in, and we would get these big black spiders. And man, to this day, I don't mind the garden spiders. I don't mind daddy long legs, but them big black house spiders, yeesh. Again, another reason to not live in the southern U.S., right?
Right.
It's spiders.
Yeah, we get plenty of spiders. We get spiders. Spiders, roaches, snakes. We get all sorts of stuff that wants to kill us,
You like your own little Australia.
Yeah, shit, fucking... Yeah, I agree. Very much so. So, now, is Jitters... Remind me again, is Jitters your first horror story, your first short story? Or your first thing writing?
No, Stage 3 was my first.
Okay.
Then Stage 3 Alpha. Then I had a short story that I actually wrote as a kid, like as a teenager.
All right.
And I held on to all that crap. And one day I was going through it, and I thought, yeah, there's a story here. So I didn't just rewrite it. I rewrote it. You know what I mean? Start over again and tell the whole story. And it kept getting longer and longer. So it stopped being a short story and it started being a novella. And I had 2 books out published through Severed Press, and I really wanted to try the indie thing. So I put that one out on my own. I put Jitters out on my own, and I loved that control. I absolutely loved it. So it was a great experiment, and it made me confirmed indie.
Confirmed indie. That's.
Yep.
And how do you feel about that title?
I'd rather have best-selling author, but it'll take it.
Okay. So I like this situation here. You had at the time. Did you have 3 stories? You said 3 books under Severed Press. So you had books already published out there through not really a traditional publisher, but a publisher. I mean, I'm not like the legacy ones. You know what I'm saying? But you had it published out there by a publisher, and then you were like, "Well, I'm going to try to go independent."
Yeah.
Like, what was?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Why?
First of all, I have to say, Severed Press really gave me my start. Like when I wrote Stage 3, I had no idea about any of the process after the end. So I wouldn't have been able to do anything. I didn't really even know independent publishing existed to begin with. So I'm so thankful that they picked it up. They were actually the first publisher I sent it to, and they picked it up. So I didn't have to deal with cover art and formatting and you know, actually getting the book out. They did everything. I just had to approve. Second, it gave me the confidence to pursue the dream full time, because holy crap, someone's putting their money into my book.
Mm-hmm.
So it gave me the confidence, and it kept me going. I did the next stage 3 book called Stage 3 Alpha. So obviously, naturally, I gave it to them as well. And then yeah, the indie bug hit, and as great as Severed Press is, there is something about having total control, because I can change the price. I can have giveaways. I can have free weekends or whatever. And for marketing purposes, that really, really helps. And with one of the bigger independent publishers with thousands of authors and thousands of books, they can't answer every email like, oh yeah, sure, we'll devote 2 hours to this. So right around the end of last year,
Okay.
I was actually going to put another stage 3 book out, the 4th one. But last year just sucked so much for everybody. I didn't want to have anything to do with 2020.
Right.
But around the end of the year, I thought, I got the idea that I want the publishing rights for those 2 first books back, so I can have all my kids together. So I made them an offer, and they got back to me, like, I'm pretty sure it was the 1st or the 2nd of January. And we came to an agreement. And now I own the publishing rights to those first 2 books. So now I'm in total control of all my stuff. And they're keeping the books up for now. They're making a few more bucks off them. And when I'm ready to go, I'll give them a call. They'll take them down. And what I have planned is all the books are being redone. They're going to have all new, awesome, awesome covers.
Okay.
Just magnificent covers. And once the books come down, I'm going to beg pardon. By the way, this is just for your audience. No one else knows this. It's going to be a sort of a surprise.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's cool.
But once they come down, I'll probably leave them down for about a week, and then I'll relaunch the entire series, offering, box sets, and there will be free books and giveaways. And I've painted a few zombie pictures that I'll give away and that sort of thing. But it feels so good to have total control over everything again. As great as Severed Press was, it really feels good to have control.
Well, Severed Press was really helpful in that regard. And you're right, because they're smaller, they're able to catch that email and catch that correspondence. I mean, sometimes that's what it takes, man. If you have a book there that a publisher has, and it's like you want to get that control, just try to ask.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe they'll work with you, maybe they won't, So,
yeah.
Of course, there'll be people listening to this being like, so why would you do that? Because you publish traditional, or you got the publisher behind you, and you can make more money that way. It's the better way to go. But you're like, no, I'm going to go.
Well,
self-publish.
There's a few reasons. One, like I say, just that control of being able to say, I'm gonna give away books this week. You can't do that with someone else in control. They can put it on sale and not even tell me.
Right. Not
that they would, but they could. They could do whatever they want with them and not tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So with me having absolute total control, even if I find a typo on page 35, I can fix it. That's something a publisher's not going to waste his time on.
Right. It might have to be like a number of errors because it costs a lot to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go.
I mean, that's what they did back in the day. That's why you had like different editions of books. Oh, we got to change this out. But it has something important or okay.
Yeah.
So being able to update the manuscript and also being able to set your own prices and do your own sales, your own specials. Now, what about creative control? I mean, you have it all, right? I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yes. Well, and honestly, when you're working with a publisher, you still have creative control. That you have to approve of everything. But there comes a point where the cover isn't quite right, but they've done so much work already, I can't put them through all that. So yeah, okay, that's good. But yeah, the author always has creative control, no matter what, no matter who has the publishing rights.
So it sounds like creative control, but with settling a little bit, like on the cover part.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially me. Like, oh, he's worked so hard. I don't want to make him do it over.
Right. Okay, so you get the creative control, you set the prices, you do the sales, you can update the manuscript at any time. What about when it comes to promotion? What it comes an outreach? What about that?
Well, marketing is a bitch at the best of times. Really, what you want to do is anything you can to get your book out there and to get your name out there and to get people aware. If a good day marketing, if you get a handful of people who didn't know about your book before to know about your book, you've done okay. I don't see how having a publisher helps that process unless they're throwing $1 million into an ad campaign or something.
Mm-hmm.
So having total control doesn't hurt the marketing. It actually helps the marketing because of all that stuff I said. Being able to control every bit of it really does help. And I still have, whatever bona fides come from being published, by an independent publisher first before taking over. I don't really know that there's a difference anyway, but it really, the only difference was how I took it. Like it truly gave me confidence. Like, wow, it doesn't suck as much as I thought it did.
Right. Oh man, so going independent going indie is just fine then. I mean, I can't think of what of course this is coming from a publisher, and that's also coming from a guy who's actually promotes self-publishing. It's like, it's not a bad thing to do. It's really not. There's that stigma that's attached to it, but it's like you mentioned, you could set your own price, do your own sales, do your own specials, update the manuscript. And as far as outreach and promotion goes, like, you're right. If the publisher's not backing it, or if they're not putting in their own money, then what are they doing?
Yeah, and by being able to market better, I can get more eyes on my book, get more people reading my book, get more word of mouth, more good reviews,
mm-hmm.
and maybe try to get rid of some of that stigma that still hangs around indie publishing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There are indie publishers better than the bestsellers from Penguin and wherever. Like, truly, some of my friends are the best publishers in the world, and
That's
they
good.
go indie, and they stay indie because they want nothing to do with publishers.
Mm. And when you say indie in that context, do you mean like go with big publishers, or go self-published?
Oh, I mean, if you can get an agent and get a big publisher, then do it. Absolutely do it. I'd do it in a second as well. That's right. I mean, that's where the real money and success is. So I'm not even including them. I'm just talking about.
You'd have to be silly to turn that down.
Well, duh.
And a movie deal.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But I will say something else about even the independent publishers. Or if you're querying an agent, if you are actually sending your book out there and your manuscript, and getting people to read it, and if someone accepts it, then, like I say, that you don't suck. Before stage 3, I wrote another book, untitled, which will never see the light of day, and I sent it to. I spent about a year, sent it to probably a dozen different publishers. None of them wanted it. And that forced me to really look at that book hard, like to look at it with fresh eyes and to just be absolutely brutal about it. And I realized that's not good enough. Like, it really isn't good enough. And if I had known about being able to do it myself, I might have put that book out there.
Right.
And to this day, I would be known as oh, the guy that wrote that piece of crap.
Oh shit.
So I'm really torn. You know, everyone has to follow their own path and do what feels right for them. And if someone's confident in their manuscript and they've had beta readers and you know they think it's great, then absolutely you don't. You know that having a publisher's eyes on it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many different aspects of that. You know, if I'm just so glad I didn't put that first book out. Let's just say that. Maybe one day I will just for fun, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah, because if you put that out there, it'd be like you said, you'd be known as that guy who published that book, that piece of crap,
Yeah.
that trash.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that when they self-publish, they don't have that filter. They don't have that quality check is missing. They don't have the beta readers.
Yeah.
And and their ego might play a part of that. Like, oh, I don't need beta readers. I don't need that stuff.
Yeah. Everyone thinks that every word they put down is sheer solid gold. And it's it's not. We all know it's not, but it's so easy to fool ourselves.
It is. And those are the books that go out there and they don't sell, and then they wonder, oh, why don't they sell? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that first piece of crap I wrote, it wasn't poorly written. It was reasonably well written, but I got off on the wrong foot with the premise, which was flawed to begin with. So the entire premise was just wrong. So there was no rewriting it. It's not like, well, why don't you like it? It's well written. Well, yeah, but the story itself is stupid. So
now I want to ask, what was the story about?
It was my attempt to take all of the silliness out of zombies. So it was zombies, just like Stage 3, but I wanted to do away with basically everything zombie, and it turned into a whole bunch of people standing around talking with some casual dead people walking around behind, not causing any kind of threat because they're dead. And dead people can't eat, and dead people can't swallow and run after you. And so, it was my attempt to sort of rationalize, and it just sucked. It really was awful. I thought I was being revolutionary, and
it's smug in your head. I see what you're doing with that too. So you try to write a zombie book where there's still undead, rotting corpses. They're just all the other stereotypes are out. So then they're just. Then they're just literally stinking up the place, and people just want to kill them because they're stinking up the place. Okay.
Yeah, they're just background scenery.
Sounds like The Walking Dead sometimes. Anyway, did you also watch that show? The show's still going on, right?
It is, yeah. It and several others.
Man, I mean, I know there's diehard fans, but once Rick left, it was like, why are you watching it? I mean, guy's gone. Like, it's over.
Yeah. I watched it for the longest time, and it didn't really hold up.
Oh, and Timothy asked in the chat, you brought up that it's hard to get proofreaders. It's hard to get them. Do you have any suggestions for him?
Social media. If you don't have friends who can help and who actually know what they like and that sort of thing, social media. There's all kinds of readers who want books to like give them a free book. They will give you an honest opinion because they don't know you from Adam. They'll tell you, your book stinks or your book is great. There's people who charge for it as well, but why? Just go on Twitter, say, hey, I need beta readers.
And you know what? When you're doing that, let's really illustrate what that looks like. When you're going on Twitter and you're reaching out for potential beta readers, like, aren't you like constantly busy in the messages? If you get that DM, you slide in that DM. If they ask, and you're like, okay, but you're constantly doing that, right? I mean, it's like that's a lot of work.
Well, so is writing, and so is any kind of marketing. I mean, if you're going to do it, you have to do it, with every fiber of your being. So, I mean, I've never advertised for beta readers, but I would. If I was unsure of something, I don't know I don't know anyone in my actual sphere of friends who are that, adept at picking out a good book from a bad book. I might know one guy who reads as much as I do, and that's about it. And he loves me, by the way.
What is he, like your brother?
No, he's just a buddy. He said, "When's your next one coming out?"
Yeah, that's a diehard fan there.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to worry about. Well, there's something when you're talking about the marketing thing, like the marketing for those, for those publishers, they're only going to work as hard as they need to. Like, and if you want your publishing to work well for your book and it's self-published, you got to put in that extra work because you're
Yes.
It's only going to work as hard as you do, no matter what it is.
Exactly right. I mean, you can pay people to do that. Lord knows there's all kinds of people who will tweet your message or post your message on Facebook or whatever, and you can pay them, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I prefer doing it myself. I prefer putting in the time because then I get to actually know the people and we become friends. And now I'm not sharing their stuff because I'm hoping they reciprocate. I'm sharing their stuff because I genuinely want to help them, and I want them to succeed, and I know they want me to succeed. Okay. And when you get a big bunch of friends like that together, then amazing things can happen.
So networking, spending time on social media, getting connections with people. Now, I'm sure there's things you avoid personally. And it's going to be on a personal level. I mean, depending on, like, when you do that, are you talking shop, or do you slide in some? Because I'm wondering if some people feel like it's hard to do that, network with people, because of like politics and cultural differences and different, that more complicated stuff. You know what I'm saying? That might make it difficult to network. So how do you deal with that?
If someone is like, I'm taken aback quite often with how someone who is writing or painting or selling stuff on Etsy, how they can suddenly then not just post a political tweet, but sort of a political tweet based in hatred.
Yeah.
And it floors me. So I will never retweet anything like that. I don't retweet anything political at all. I most of my friends are writers or artists or singers or band people or whomever. So I will tweet their stuff endlessly, and I will chat with them, and I'll respond to them and thank them, and they will do likewise, and it's just a big friendly family, really. Just like picking your friends, that guy says things I don't like. Well, maybe I just won't hang out with him so much.
Yeah, you gotta have to judge it like that. Maybe you just don't like them. That happens. And you've been really consistent on making sure you don't post anything political or anything. I've never seen you have any sort of oopsie posts. Can't say the same about others. Can't say the same about me. I'm sure. So that's because my personal Twitter is my personal Twitter and has the other stuff on it too. It's like,
Yep. Well, that's your persona, and that's fine. People expect it. They want it.
Yeah.
They wanted Don Rickles to call someone a hockey puck. It's going to happen. With me, I just made a decision the first day I started anything on social media was that I wasn't going to be that. Like it was just going to be friendly, nice, respectful, honest, and that's it. And Lord knows there's stuff happens in my books that aren't nice, and I swear a lot in the books, but I would never even swear on Twitter feed because there could be kids reading it,
Oh, look at you. You care about the kids. Hey,
well,
I mean,
cool. If someone picks up my book, they know what they're getting into. Right. But if they're just scrolling through Twitter and they come across a thing, and, oh, what's this book? And wow, that foul-mouthed guy, So why would I do that?
Yeah. Hey, good point. You don't want them to know you're foul mouthed until they actually read the book.
Wait until you're committed,
Or
then
listen
you can
to a
find out what a
podcast where he
dick
said
I am.
motherfucker. So I'm just, damn it, Ken, I was trying to go for a family friendly show. It just never happens.
Sorry, man.
I think that might be a next running joke instead of the coming to you live from Meth County, Texas. I don't know. I haven't done that in a while. So let's get into some of your material too. Because we talked about your publishing, we talked about you going solo. I guess when going solo, I mean, there's still plenty more. Because the questions people would have, because I've done it myself, gone solo many times. Actually, the thing that's coming to mind here is that some of these publishers, these small guys, they're using the same tools you can use.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
that's
it's
very true.
They're not doing anything advanced. They're really not.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, some are better than others, but I've seen some books that are just sort of thrown together.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it out there, make a few bucks off it, get the next one in.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now let's go into Arcadia Falls. So tell us about that.
I love Arcadia Falls. I'm most proud of that one.
Okay.
So far. I have another one coming out this year that I'm even prouder of. But yeah, Arcadia Falls is small town Merca.
Okay.
It was written it's billed as young adult horror because after I had written, I believe I had just finished stage 3 alpha, and a friend of mine needed me to pick up her 15-year-old daughter from high school and just take her home.
Okay.
And we've been, family friends forever. So I picked her up from school, I took her home, and once we got there, I kind of sat her down and said, "So what kind of books do you like to read?" And she said, "Something scary with a monster."
Something
so like what? Like
okay.
So what? Like vampires? You like sparkly vampires? No. Something completely new, and there has to be a mystery. And that's where she left it. So I came home that night and started hashing out Arcadia Falls, and it turned out wonderfully.
So something new, and it has something
a new kind of monster
and a mystery.
And a mystery. So that since it was written basically for her and it was dedicated to her. No swearing. No nudity, there's a little bit of gore, but it's mostly not human gore, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's it's a clean read. It's still scary, hopefully. And I did what she wanted. And it worked out great.
Man, that's pretty deep. So Arcadia Falls comes from your conversation that you had with this girl you picked up.
Maybe put that a different way, but sure. Yeah, that teenage girl you picked up that day. Yeah,
That sounds wrong. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? You had a conversation with someone. She was reading, and you're just okay. What do you like to read? It's also pretty cool that she was not into sparkling vampires.
Yeah, I was expecting that. I was truly expecting something like that. And I thought, I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I wanted to do something other than zombies. And I thought, at least here I will know what young people like. And okay, if they like sparkly vampires, maybe I'll give it a shot, maybe jazz it up a bit. Or, if they like werewolves, sure, maybe I can try that. Just seeing what could possibly work for younger adults. And as it turns out, Arcadia Falls is just as every bit as popular with people my age than with teenagers. It's really kind of amazing.
That's good. You tapped into that. That's good. So what is going on in Arcadia Falls though?
Well, I can't tell you exactly what the monsters are or what the mystery is. But it's a group of high school kids. They're in their last year of high school.
Okay.
So 17-ish. They come from all different backgrounds, there's no reason for them to come together, but they do come together because of this thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there's a whole lot of interplay. People that you think are bad
I think I
turn
know
out
what
to
this
be
is.
bad, and people that are good turn out to be not so good. And we dig into the mystery, and there's a couple of older guys, grandpa and a teacher get involved, and they go after the mystery and they try to figure it out.
I know what it is, Ken. I'm going to spoil it here. Spoiler alert. Here we go. It's interdimensional demons that's stealing the babies. Stealing the babies and taken to Arcadia Falls where they get dumped. There you go.
Oh, dude, that is so the next one. Arcadia Falls 2, Demon Dump. Oh wait, not that kind of dump. Hang on, a rewrite.
That's good. Because this whole time, I'm like, what is in the van? What are these monsters? What could they possibly be?
Yeah, I would believe me, I would love to sit here and tell you the whole story. I'll read the damn thing to you if you want, but it as a reader, I know I wouldn't want a book to get spoiled for me.
It's Child Protective Services. It's the government. That's what it is.
There you go. I'm doing a favor to all readers of the world. You're welcome, world.
That's good. Oh, I mean, this book sounds like something that, like, if you catch on with the right person, could be like a some weird creepypasta conspiracy, internet conspiracy thing.
I never even thought of that. That's awesome. Maybe I will start the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, you got to find a way to market this into a meme.
Yeah, and then someone later on, discovers that, hey, you guys ever see this book? It's everything this conspiracy says. It's real. That's awesome.
Man. Oh, I mean, okay.
There's marketing right there. That's your marketing.
It's going to be some really impactful marketing for sure. But I was going to say, I know you can't give out the whole details of the book away, but what was like the challenging thing? Something that challenged you when writing this book?
Probably trying to keep the 17-year-old kids acting like 17-year-old kids, but
okay.
like I there's no way on earth I am going to write a 17-year-old kid as a 17-year-old kid is today. I don't know the jargon. I don't know the slang. So what I basically did is just I made them all sort of just really kind of like timeless, I guess.
Okay.
Like no real slang. Just like normal adults talking.
Okay.
Normal intelligent adults. Not a whole lot of talking about social media and likes and all that crap. Just people getting together. As bizarre as that sounds. But at least that way, like, if you start using slang, then 10 years down the road, someone picks it up and they're like, what the heck does that word mean?
They're still using Vines? Oh, who uses Vines anymore? MySpace. Oh, this is stupid.
I was just going to say, MySpace. Yep, I know how to rap with the young kids. I can be street. So yeah, I just instead of trying to even attempt it, I just left all that stuff behind.
That's cool. That's a smart idea.
Well,
you just keep it kind of like you said, timeless. You take out those little identifiers out. Now but the dialogue part had to have been tough.
It was, and it was really the first of anything I'd written with more than 3 people. So not just, everyone has to have their own voice, and there has to be the dissenting voice and the agreeing voice and the funny voice and whatever. So just they all had to stay true. And aside from just that, just keeping them all true, there's a real process in he said or she said. You can't just do that anymore because there's a whole bunch of people. So you have to find ways to make it clear who's talking, who's doing the thinking. And one way I got around that is, well, with horror especially, it really works to have one voice, one narrative. Like it's not much of what I write is first person, but still the story is told by that person's perspective.
Okay.
So Arcadia Falls is the same. Arcadia Falls is told from one guy's point of view, and that makes it at least a little easier. Just to get down that process of, at least when he's talking, and when his girlfriend is talking. And
you got a center point of focus there. If you're just following one guy and you kind of, or one person, he kind of sees it through his. Okay.
Well, it works great with horror, especially because you're not supposed to know what's coming, right? And you're reading this scary thing all by yourself. Maybe you're alone in bed, with a little nightlight on, and you're reading one guy's point of view, telling the story. So it makes it a little more personal. It makes it, a little more poignant. I think it works especially best for horror.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree there. Definitely agree. That's so tough though. Keeping track of all the multiple characters. I'm sure you had to create yourself a little cheat sheet, like little post-it notes. Like, oh yeah, okay, this character is this, that. Oh, this character is the blonde. I forgot which one was blonde.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a notebook. I've kept them all. Just listing names and traits and characteristics and certain things they say and whatever. And recently I finished another book that should be the next one out, and it has dozens of characters. They're not always interacting, but it's a whole lot of fun, hopefully, for people to read. It was a lot of fun to write, but there are so many characters, and I had to keep dozens of them straight. So I actually have like a spiral notebook, and everyone gets a page, and this is this person, and this is where they live, and that's their house number and hair color. It's invaluable. Like I could never have done it from memory alone.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. It's just a lot of stuff to keep track of, and the only people that are really gonna understand that are those that write. I don't, whether we writing short stories, novels, or even writing comics. So when you're writing screenplays, like, if you write characters, you create characters, you have to keep track of that.
Yeah, you have to keep those characters true. And if you're writing a book for 9, 10, 12 months, you might not remember that, this person said that thing back in chapter 2, and now they're saying the exact opposite in chapter 20.
Right. So, I think one of your characters just had a gender reassignment surgery or something, or as changed race. Oh, I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, can you imagine, like, if you're not keeping track of your characters?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't he black? Wait a minute, what the?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know my limitations. I've seen Dirty Harry. I'm well aware of my limitations. So yeah, I keep all that stuff. And I keep it close, and I keep it concise, and usually pretty sloppy.
That's some good advice there. I like that. So, let's get into stage 3. Stage 3 alpha. And what makes because these are zombie stories. What makes these zombie stories different from your typical zombie story?
Okay, I told you I wanted to redo the whole zombie genre, right?
Yes.
That sucked big. So when I decided that book sucked, I truly put it aside. I don't even know where it is now. And I started fresh, and I still wanted to do zombies because I still love zombies. They hit a whole lot of horror points. Not just, oh, this thing's trying to eat me, but oh, this thing used to be mom, and oh, I'm going to be this thing one day, and it just hits a lot of points. So I wanted to do zombies, but still, I have such a I've studied sciences during school, so I wanted to find a way to make it at least scientifically plausible to have actual walking dead people eating people. So I did a lot of research. Well, I did a lot of research. I won't tell you the exact mechanism because it's not even explained until the third book. Because quite frankly, it's just not important to the story until then. But what I did was there's a virus that is created by a person or persons unknown. It affects the higher functions of the brain first. So the first thing it does, it attacks your occipital lobe and it takes away your eyesight. So that's the first sign. That's the first sign of infection. But it doesn't stop there. It keeps eating away the higher functions of the brain until there's nothing left but the pure animal. So these people are still alive. You know, they're still humans. Okay. They still have, you know, you can still shoot them and stab them and whatever. But they're now just animals. So they're like wild dogs running through the streets in packs, and they're just ripping into anything that moves. But it's discovered shortly into the first stage 3 that once you do actually kill one of these things, the virus is still inside their head, and it's still working to repair their lower brain and their hypothalamus, which allows them then to walk. And they can still bite and they can still scratch, but they're dead, so they don't growl because there's no air in their lungs. They're not breathing, and they're slower. You know, they plod along, but they have the virus deep inside the brain that is telling them where to go, where the nearest humans are. So there's a double threat. You know, the immediate threat of, hey, there's 20 people charging at me, ready to tear me apart. Mm-hmm. And then there's I get to a safe place, but once I stay there overnight, 20 of these dead things will gather around.
Yeah.
And now I have to get through them. So because they're all blind, it gives the survivors a chance at least, because really, honestly, if you're in a city full of wild animals, you're going to die. Mm-hmm. So it gives them a chance. You know, if they're extremely quiet, they could get past one of these living dead things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's just that double threat that it's just fun to play with, you know, one against the other. Like, okay, you survived this, now survive that.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. So this is an interesting way to do zombies. So it destroys the brain, or actually, I guess it destroys the eyes first, and just take away the higher function. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
just choose.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing. Go ahead.
Oh, just choose. Like, the thing with zombie stories always get me is, like, how do you make zombies, like the reanimated dead thing, work? Because, like, so for your virus to repair the brain is one thing, but we're talking like is it repairing like arteries and stuff too? Is it just?
No, it's and once the person has died and they're being carried around by this virus, they do have a certain lifespan.
Okay.
But any damage to their lower brain is repaired. Like if you were to machete them down through the center of their head and destroy their entire brain, then they would collapse to the ground and they're re-dead, I guess. But there's something still at work inside repairing that lower brain, just enough to get them to actually be able to move. But they do have a lifespan.
So if they have I mean, I guess if they get maimed in the leg or whatever, I mean, they're just okay.
They just stumble along.
And would they just finally bleed out? Like, if they don't have any blood in their body, would the heart just stop? Like, it's not going to be able to pump.
Well, they're dead already, so the heart's not pumping. So you could, if one of those was coming at you, you could, fill it full of lead, and as long as you don't hit something vital in their brain, then they will keep on coming.
Interesting. Now, can the body move without blood, though? I mean,
it could move for a while. It would take a while for the oxygen to be depleted in the tissue. I don't know how long that would be. Obviously, I stretched it because they're around for days instead of hours. But it eliminates how does a dead person swallow without peristalsis, without salivary glands? I mean, do zombies poo? Watch Walking Dead. the first episode of Walking Dead, there's this woman who had been riding a bike and she'd been zombified,
Mhm.
and only the top half of her remained, and she was basically a skeleton.
Mhm.
So no lungs, no diaphragm, yet she's growling. Like what?
Yeah.
So it does away with all of that,
Ah.
at least. So at least it succeeded in getting rid of the sillier aspects of zombies.
Right. I'm in agreement there because that's one thing. It's like when I see those zombie movies, especially or zombie shows like let's say The Walking Dead, and they have like the skeletal looking zombies. Like, oh, there's no
Yeah.
like, why are they making that growling sound? It doesn't make any sense. They
Yeah.
don't have lungs. They can't be breathing.
Yeah,
It's like, come on, man.
they've been rooted to a tree for what 7 years now, and they're still growling with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, but still, your zombies make a little bit more sense. Now, I mean, where do you? I mean, did you in your research in this, like, did you find any like weird, bizarre examples of people actually trying to experiment and make zombies?
Well, aside from Dahmer, yeah,
Oh.
there. I mean, he actually did try to make literal zombies. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say this, but he would drill holes in skulls and drop acid in. But anyway,
Oh.
yeah, but there are examples in nature. There's a type of fungus that attacks ants, and all it has to do is touch them, and it infects them, and it guides them. Like, it takes control of their body. It guides them to climb the highest blade of grass and just hang on. And then the virus, and then this fungus grows out of their brain into this big long stalk that then rains down spores on other ants.
Huh.
So there are zombies in nature, but I went a whole different way, and I spent a lot of time reading a whole lot of different disciplines to figure out something that worked.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And you still get the fun of having to cut their head off and all that stuff because
That juicy good stuff.
Now in Stage 3, in the Stage 3 series, are characters a bunch of emo kids that whine and complain about how life sucks? Are they a bunch of ass kickers?
No, the first guy in Stage 3, the main guy, Hank Mason, everyone calls him Mace. He's big tough guy, but he goes into it not entirely a people person, let's say. He's never liked people. He is like me. He self-isolates voluntarily and has turned it into an art form. Then this thing hits, and this big tough loner decides, "Oh, I'll go it alone." Me versus the world. But then he comes across this 10-year-old girl who's already blind, so she's infected, but she's still human, and she's being sort of stalked by these other guys. So he decides, okay, well, if I'm gonna die, at least I'm gonna help this one person in my life. So there's him and Mackenzie. That's the girl's name. They own first book. Second book introduces another character, and now I'm into book 4, and we're still hovering around 8-10 characters, but they run the gamut.
Okay.
Not an emo in the bunch.
Not an emo in the bunch. That's good.
A couple of teenagers, but no emos.
That's good.
I think I'm sorry. If the apocalypse hits, who's going to survive? Like
the badasses are the ones that are tough, man. The ones that are hardened,
and the ones who have common sense. Like, oh, I'm not going to stand here and take selfies with this thing that's trying to eat me. I will run away.
It's the perfect time to twerk, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do my TikTok. That's what people are gonna do.
No, Mason even makes a point in every single book saying "stupid died quick."
That's quick. That's good. That's good. Oh man, I mean, with The Walking Dead, it was the family drama stuff. That was like kind of annoying. So
yeah,
you got some drama stuff with your human characters.
Oh yeah. Lots of drama.
That's
I
cool.
mean, not between characters. There's, I mean, honestly, again, common sense. If you're being surrounded by all these things trying to kill you, and there's 4 or 5 or 6 people who are willing to fight with you, they are your best friends ever.
Right?
You are now, peeing on the side of the road together. You got no secrets.
Yep.
They are your family.
Time to set aside your differences and get to surviving, get to killing. Yep. Oh man, that's pretty cool. So, and I'm glad to hear that there's going to be another stage 3. I've been noticing with your lineup. I was like, man, Ken is a busy guy. He's constantly working. His social media is constantly going down. I mean, not going down like removed, but constantly posting. I mean, this guy has to be busy writing, but I'm not seeing any new books. So I was kind of worried for a second. I was like, is he still writing? What's going on? But you've been busier now more than ever, right?
Oh yeah, this last year especially. Like I say, I've been self-isolating my entire life, and I've social distance. I've turned it into a life, into an art form. So I've been staying home and I've been writing. This last year and a bit, I've finished 2 full novels, standalone novels. I have the next stage 3 ready to go. I have so many short stories. I'm probably going to have to put out an anthology. And I've been doing all this stage 3 relaunch stuff. So I've been busy.
Man, I'd imagine so. That sounds pretty busy. Now, these short stories, are we going to see them in? Are they already published in other like magazines?
No. I'm holding on to. I got to have 10, 12 or more so far, and I'm always torn. I see people putting out short stories and charging a couple of bucks, but I don't know if people want to spend a couple of bucks on a short story. I'd think instead of giving them one story for a couple of bucks, I'll give them 10 or 12. So it's probably going to be an anthology. I mean, I do have short stories on my website as well, but these are completely different from that.
I mean, if you wrote erotica, you could probably sell like a page story. Not that I would know anything about that.
No,
but, I just talk to people, Ken. I just talk to people. Oh man. But yeah, so you're gonna even go indie on the short stories as well, like.
Yep.
Full control. I like that. I like that.
Well, yeah. It was scary to consider at first, but my first indie, that first Jitters, like I just loved it. I loved the entire experience. Now with Jitters, it was a novella, so it was basically one long chapter. So I could format myself. I managed. It's probably not perfect, but whatever. After that, I needed help. So, because I can't create cover art. I wouldn't know how to create cover art. So I farmed that stuff out to an incredible woman named Eva Lancaster, the book Lisi. And she's awesome. She will. I told her kind of what I want, and she would say, "Are you sure that's what you want?" And she would sort of send me something saying, "Well, this is kind of what I had in mind," and it's just awesome. Like I would never have thought of that, but it is just incredible. And she does everything else. She's Lord. I write it. She does everything else. Simply put, that's it. So if I didn't have her, I wouldn't be able to do any of this.
Hey, it's good to have that team. It's good to have that help. I mean, now, because when you're going to go independent like that, you're going to need everything you can get.
Yep. And if you can do a half-ass job and someone else can do a full-ass job, you really want that other half an ass.
Right. And from going, well, let's just compared to Jitters compared to like the books, like the other ones that went through an actual publisher. Like, did you notice any difference in the sales or anything?
Not really in the sales. Honestly, when Eva formats a book, it looks better. It's just simply the font size and the style and the chapter breaks. It looks more professional than the professional publisher. So I'm not just happy. I am elated that I have her on my side.
Okay. And of course, there's people that are always curious about self-publishing. They always bring up, "Oh, but you're not going to make a living off it, or even be able to pay your bills with that." I mean, how's it working for you?
I don't think I could make a living off it, but I took early retirement, so I don't really have to make a living off it. But the way I figure I market like I'm one review away from hitting the big time, or one tweet away, or one friend telling a friend away from the big time, because you never know. There's going to be a tipping point for everything. And if just that one last person actually like reads the book and likes it and tells a friend, maybe that will be the beginning of the cascade, or maybe that person will be Oprah and she will love it, or you never know. But if you do nothing, you get nothing. So you have to give it your best. You have to hope for the best, and if you're not going to do your best, why do anything at all? At least pay someone to do their best. Right. If you're not going to do anything. Right. Because you went through all the trouble of reading this book. Writing this book? Why would you want it to just sit there and rot for the rest of eternity?
Exactly. You have to constantly be working on it, constantly pushing. I mean, and you do it, man. Yeah. Every morning, like every day, like you're constantly Arcadia Falls, or stage 3, or so. Okay, you're constantly just.
Yeah, I'm committed to it. Like a couple times a day, I'll get on social media. I don't Facebook hardly at all anymore, but Twitter is my second home. So I'll be on there a couple times a day for, a good hour or so. And it's not just about marketing. It's like I say, it's about catching up with my friends, and this one's got something new, and that one's got something new, and free weekend, share that.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. And when you network like that, when you actually communicate with other authors and kind of like their stuff, or not just like it to like, but actually like it because you do like it, you read it and all that stuff, you feel that creates that benefits you, that they in turn pay back.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, it just the same way as making a friend at work benefits you. You have a comrade at work. But yeah, when you're two people trying to sell books, then yeah, of course it helps both of us. But it's more than that. It really is friendships now. I mean, people will come on, start following and start retweeting. I've never seen them before in my life, but they can be a good friend next week because they're just so friendly and communicative, and they're thankful for what I do, and they reciprocate, and it's kind of amazing that you can grow such a huge kind of a family on some place where you never actually see them or meet them. But yeah, some of my best friends are on Twitter.
And it benefits you guys in a way that I don't think the guys that because there's people that look at this as very competitive. They don't want to. I guess they're afraid to network others or show, give them positive light because they think it takes away from their sell, whatever. And they're so competitive. They're not going to get any. I don't think they benefit from that. From that approach, I think.
No.
I think the way you go about it's pretty smart.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna get anything from that. People figure things out pretty quick, and I don't know. I've come across people like that, and they a couple weeks go by, and I never hear from them again. Like I never see them, I never hear from them. So, hey, that's what you got from that kind of attitude. We're not competing. We are literally all in this together. We all want to sell books, and I know people who are trying to sell horror books but they're nothing like mine.
Yeah.
I know other people who are trying to sell zombie books. I don't care. God bless, like if there's someone out there who likes zombies, they're going to like your stuff. They're going to like my stuff. They're going to like this other guy's stuff. So it doesn't hurt me to promote other people's stuff. It actually helps me in so many ways.
Right. That's good, man. And it's true.
And karma, dude, karma.
No,
do the right thing, be honest.
Now, Ken Stark, we've been on here for a while now. I'm going to wrap up a little bit, but before I do, there's a question I ask all my guests, and that's, do you have a favorite horror movie and why? And why?
Oh, I love The Shining just because Nicholson and Kubrick and Kubrick threw in so many things you don't notice, but your subconscious notices. Like they're walking down the hallway and you see the room number. This is the infamous room, whatever. Then they go a little further and you can see behind the door and there's nothing there. You don't register that.
Hello? Wait, what happened? Hello? You just dropped. Am I still on? Wait, what just happened? Let's talk about The Shining. And just... Did he drop from the Skype call? Ken. He vanished. What happened? I'm calm. Just like that. Disappeared without a trace. He was abducted by the ghost of Lemmy. By the ghost of Lemmy Kilmeister. Alright, I'm calm. Calling now.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we're just wrapping
Okay,
up. We're talking about The Shining and walking down the hall.
I am now on my iPad, so if I sound funny, I'm sorry, everyone. So The Exorcist was awesome just because it was just so awesome. Linda Blair.
Oh yeah.
Doing the crab walk down the stairs. Oh my God, it was just the creepiest thing ever, and it still is the creepiest thing ever.
I have to agree. The Exorcist and The Shining are pretty damn good horror movies, man. Really good stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Ken Stark, man, it was great having you on the show to talk about horror, talk about your writing. Especially, man, I think we went pretty deep into self-publishing versus traditional, because people are still adamant about, no, you have to go through a publisher. I will say, in your story, it made, I think, your approach to self-publishing a lot smarter, and it prepared you for it.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone's got to do their own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This worked out great for me. It worked out spectacularly that someone else put their money into it at first and did all the hard work. But now this makes sense for me. So just because that made sense then and this made sense now, doesn't mean that any of it makes sense for anyone else. So everyone has to do their own thing. It all depends on their confidence level and their skill level and everything.
That's right. Do your own thing. I mean, if you do what you feel is right for you in this situation.
Do you, baby?
All right. Yeah, that's right. All right, Ken Stark. It was great having you on the show, ladies and gentlemen. You made it this far. Press the like button, share, and subscribe. And I might stream later on tonight or definitely tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Anyway, y'all take it easy. Have a good one.
Thanks for having me, Jess. See you.